Welcome to the Connection Revolution podcast. I'm so thankful that you're joining us for this episode. We have a really, really important episode today, and we have a special guest with us all the way from Dallas International University. Beth Argot, Dr. Beth Argot is with us today. Beth, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Beth, may I ask you to start by just telling us a bit about your journey with the
Mm.
Lord that led you over the years to being now the director of the Arts and Trauma Healing Program at Dallas International University?
Mm. Well, it is definitely a journey. That's a good word for it. It's one of those where when you look back, I always say I love being old now. I don't really, but I do love being old in that I can look back and see this pathway that God has literally carved out over the years that I had no clue about. And arts and trauma healing, I believe, this was one of the ultimate goals that God would get me to, because my interest and my research in arts and trauma healing is really inspired by God. If I could say what my main ministry has been all my life, it's that people will really, truly know God, not just know about Him.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for sharing. Tell us a little more about the Arts and Trauma Healing Program at Dallas International University.
Until recently, until 2023, it was just one course that we taught. It's based on the Healing the Wounds of Trauma book, which the American Bible Society had published years ago. So a woman named Harriet Hill, who had been one of the main instigators and authors of that book, um, they had been, working on this for many years. And she came to our school and she said, "This really needs the arts." Now she's an artist herself, not trained artist as I know it, but she realized that there was more. The program was good, but there were a lot of people it wouldn't reach because of,
Mm.
trauma symptoms that, can't be dealt with in cognitive ways. So she introduced the idea to our school and it was birthed in 2014. And it's evolved since then. At first, it was a little chunky, just we do these lessons and then do a little bit of arts on the side, and it didn't blend together. But over time, it gradually became what it is now. And it's a program where we train people to understand trauma deeply. In what we do, they need to know trauma a lot more than in the traditional Healing the Wounds of Trauma program. So we train them in trauma, we train them in the arts and understanding all the neurology of trauma and the arts and how the arts work in the brain. Because with trauma, there there are often things that happen where people cannot talk about. They either have no memory or they just can't verbalize what's happened to them. Many times,
Mm.
trauma is just stored in parts of the brain that are just like random pieces. They don't even make sense to the person and they can't verbalize it. So, the arts allow us the ability to get into that part of the brain where all of this sensory components from the trauma, all of the little bits of memories are stored, and the feelings is the most important thing, so that people can express through the arts um, whatever we happen to be talking about in the lessons.
Wow. Such a need there for sure. And so many places around the world, of course, for this arts and trauma healing program that you're working with, Beth. This is it's so great to hear about.
The workshop is focused toward people who would like to work with others in trauma. So what we do in the workshop is we teach them about trauma, that they can understand what it is, how it works, how the arts work with trauma. That's an important part. And then we give them that experience. We guide them through a healing group. And that's a series of 5 lessons that talk about why God allows suffering. What is trauma? How do we heal from it? What's grief? How do we heal with grief? All of these, forgiveness. There's a lot of topics. And we give people the opportunity then at the end to give this to God if they're ready.
Beth and Mark and Nate, it's been a great conversation, important conversation. And we look forward to what God's going to do through this Arts and Trauma Healing Workshop coming up very soon in the Kansas City metro area here, March 24 to 29. So check it out. Go to the Sending Project. You can just go to thesendingproject.org. right on the homepage, just scroll down. You'll see the event listings toward the bottom of the page there, and you'll see this event, Arts and Trauma Healing Workshop, March 24, 29. Click on that, learn a whole lot more about this, sign up, be a part of it. I think it will be a life-changing experience for you. To all those of you who've been listening and watching this particular episode of the Connection Revolution podcast series, I want to say thank you for being with us today. And we look forward to when you're back with us next time as the Connection Revolution continues.